Sportowe emocje pod koszem zapewnia Anwil, sponsor strategiczny klubu.
Dzień dobry, witam wszystkich kibiców Anwilu Włocławek w kolejnym odcinku, w kolejnym wywiadzie zrealizowanym w naszym Mediarumie. Tym razem nie na żywo, a jak nie na żywo, to oczywiście jesteśmy z jednym z zagranicznych koszykarzy Anwilu Włocławek. Razem ze mną dzisiaj jedna z najjaśniejszych postaci tego sezonu naszej drużyny, Justin Turner. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
How is going?
It's going pretty good. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. Happy to have you here. I'm sure you are the person with a lot of stories about yourself, your career, and fun anecdotes. Is there anything you would like to start about yourself, or it's up to me?
No, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Let's go. You can go wherever you want.
Let's go. So let's go with the name that is very familiar for every single Anvil Włocławek fan, Chase Simon. Is this name familiar as well for you?
Yeah, Chase Simon. I know he played here. I know he had a good professional career. We come from like different eras of Detroit basketball, but being that he's older than me, but that's definitely a name I've heard and kind of seen. I think he went to a Detroit public school too, like I did. So we played in the same league. So definitely a name I've heard around.
He's much older than you, a couple of years, I think, 8, 9, maybe something like this. But did you have any chance to watch him in Detroit, watch him play in Detroit, or something, or not?
Nah, when he played in high school, I was probably like, I want to say 3rd, 4th grade. So I wasn't really following it like how I, did when I got older. So no, I didn't really watch him play that much.
So he wasn't the person that you could have asked something about Anvil before you joined our club, our organization.
I definitely could have. I'm sure like we, being in Detroit, we kind of run into the same people, same contacts, same trainers. So I didn't know he played here until I got here. So if I knew that he did, I definitely would have reached out to him.
Who was that important guy in your this period when you were about to decide to join Włocławek? Who was the important person who was convincing you to sign with us?
Yeah, I think my agent played a good part. There was another guy that works in the NBA. His name is J.R. Holden. He works with he's with the Pistons now in management. He kind of played a factor into it. I think I had a good conversation with Bronny when we first kind of hit off. And then just my support system, other than that, my family, and then it definitely seemed like it was the best situation for me at the time.
It's not the beginning of the season, so there is no reason for talking much about why you decided to join us, because a couple of months passed, so we are in the totally different spot right now in the season.
Yeah.
We are about to start playoffs soon, but there is some detail which interests me. Interests me so much. When you first found out that there is some kind of Polish organization which is interested in signing you, what was your first thought? It was something like Poland, once again Poland. I'm talking about the story with Słupsk.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was like, I've always heard Poland being a respectable league. Like I've followed it, like not up closely, but I've seen different high-level players come in and out of Poland. So we always knew the league was respectable. So when it came up, it was like, okay, this is another chance, another opportunity and then in fact that it was with a team like Anvil, seeing that the history that they had and expectations that the players come to play with. So we, first thought was like, okay, it's a good chance to, be on that stage. Just another stepping stone to like just show your talent and skills.
To make things clear about this Słupsk case, it was December 2022, I think.
Yeah.
You signed a deal.
Yeah.
You already signed a deal. You were about to fly to Poland.
Yeah.
And something happened that you didn't get on a plane, and the official communication from their side was like private issues, players' private issues.
Yeah. Well, the case was pretty simple. Like I remember this day like it was yesterday. I got all my stuff packed and ready. Sent my bags my baggage actually went into the baggage claim. Like we delivered everything, and the TSA just didn't let me on the plane. Like they didn't even let me through security.
TSA?
Yeah, the people at the front that's checking IDs and checking bags. They didn't even let me through security because they said that I needed a visa because they saw that I was going to be in Poland for longer than 3 months. So once that came about, they had the manager lady come up. She came and explained everything to me, my mom, and my stepdad. So I called, reached back out to them and basically told them the situation. And then they wanted me to go back to the airport and just tell them oh, they're going to be working on the permit or the visa, and tell them it'll get there before you get back to America. So we did all of that, followed the instruction, and then they basically said, no, you need the visa now, because the fact that if it didn't show that I wasn't returning in 3 months or whatever, it would have been fine. But the fact that they now knew that I was going to be there for longer than that, they had to see the visa before they let me in. So there was no way they would let me on the plane and without a visa or a working permit. So once the contract got terminated, another team came literally, because I guess the team was going to sign me before I went to Slups. But once they see that didn't work out for whatever reason, a G League team, they basically just came and offered me before Slups can put another contract out, before anything came back to me. So at that point, with all that process going, I just took the G League team because it was in my hometown, and I thought it was also a good situation for me.
So were you much disappointed, were you?
I mean, I was disappointed because I definitely wanted to go, I wanted to kind of get a start on my rookie year in Europe. But at the same time, going back to a team that I already went to, and the role and the vision they had for me as far as my development, because I was with them the previous year and I got so much better. I wasn't that disappointed because I was still going to go back into something where I felt like I could kind of grow in my career.
Okay, these are the details I was so interested in. But generally, the interview is going to be about you, yourself, not only about your current basketball career, but mostly about you. And what is your first basketball thought you got in your head?
The first basketball thought I ever think of is just my brother. I think he was the one that kind of set the tone for me when it comes to basketball, because I went to a K through 12 high school. It was called Detroit Urban Lutheran. So the kindergartners went to school with the seniors. They were all in one building.
Okay.
So he's 11 years older than me. And when I was in kindergarten, he was 11th grade or 12th grade. So I'm a kid in kindergarten, but at the same time, I see him every day at school. And they had a high school team. So that my mama just dragging me to the games, and then I'm just a spectator. So I'm just picking up, watching everything he kind of doing, seeing the level they playing at, seeing the people they playing against, seeing the environment that the Detroit basketball give off. So I guess all that just kind of rubbed on for me, and I was like, oh yeah, this is something I'm gonna want to do. And then as I got older, I got to understand the levels to it, and then got to understand the school that we were at. I was like, okay, so this is the middle of the pack or the bottom barrel. It's players out here. It's the public school leagues, and then state tournaments, and then national tournaments. It was just hierarchies to it. So I just wanted to keep growing in the game.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was like a shooter. He was a mid-range scorer.
Right now you are better. In which moment did it turn out that you are better right now?
I actually remember the game because we always play one-on-one, and he would always beat me. And I don't remember what age it was, but it just got to a point where he couldn't. I think I just got too fast. Maybe he got out of shape, but I got too fast, and I just got stronger, and he couldn't. I just got better. How
old were you when you beat him for the first time?
I don't even remember. I probably was
more or less.
Probably 8th grade, 7th grade or 8th grade.
It means
13, 12 or 13.
So 13-old boy beat a 24th-old young man, not young man.
Yeah, it was definitely about my 9th grade of high school. I think by high school he'd never beat me again, but I want to say it's around that time.
It's a similar story like Michael Jordan, his brother. You know that?
Yeah.
Playing one-on-one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he was beating up on me for the longest, but I think I got him for the rest of my life.
Is it the same story about the numbers? Because you know the story about Michael Jordan's number 23. It was half of 45, which was the number of his brother.
Yeah.
He was twice weaker than his brother.
Right.
He fought like this.
I didn't know that, but. So no, he actually wore number 31.
31.
And when I was young, I used to be like, I want 31.
Okay.
But the reason why I wear 1 now is actually it's behind my brother too, because my very first AAU tournament, we went to a state called Indiana, and we played the super mega team, and I wanted 23. Yeah, I think I always wanted to wear 23. And they gave me number 1, and then he was like, oh my gosh, you got number 1? Like, you got to show out now. And I was like, number 1? So then I started wearing it, and then after that, I just kind of like accepted it. I was like, everywhere I go, I feel like I want to wear number 1 now, just because like I remember how much that moment was, and then it was like a big turning point in my career. And fast forward, we got smacked by like 45 points by the team. They had like NBA players, NCAA college players. So I just remember like, okay, this is when I need to kind of take this more serious, like basketball. And then that moment with him kind of just also happened at that tournament. So that's when I started embracing like, okay, I want to wear number 1 every time I touch the floor if I can.
Are you a guy who was born to basketball?
No, I wouldn't say born to basketball, because you know I'm really the first one to kind of go through all the phases of it with my family. You know, I'm the first one to play Division I, so we had to go through that process. Like, it was all brand new. First to go deal with like scouting combines after college, professionals, agents. So I'm the first one to kind of have that learning curve to what it is. So I wouldn't say I'm born into it. You know, I think born into it would kind of be like, oh, your mom played, dad played. They created this environment where you kind of like know what you're getting yourself into, and then you kind of feed off the knowledge they give you. But you know, my parents they still did the best like any parent could do, as far as like taking me to all my AU tournaments. You know, we kind of was figuring out as we went, and you know, I think we did pretty good.
So, in which one you started to think about, okay, I can be pro, I can be a pro bowler in the future. Maybe it doesn't have to be the NBA, but it can be some G League, can be European League. If you let me explore the world as well, that would be okay. Mm-hmm. In which moment it turned out, you know, hey, that's okay, I can play, and benefit from it?
I want to say high school, because like, I mean, you never really know, because there's so much stuff to kind of filter out in between. But when you kind of start seeing, like in high school, the colleges come, and you start seeing like the different high-level players, and you kind of match up with them to see where you at, like on a head-to-head level, you kind of get that stench of just like, okay, all right, if they here, I can compete with them. And then it's the same way with college, like people just kind of start weeding out. And then I feel like my last couple years in college, that's when it really hit. Like, okay, like this was gonna be a thing, because I got invited to like the Chris Paul camp. It was like top guards in the nation. Then having like all the NBA pre-draft workouts after college, and that was like, okay, like professional obviously is here in the ranks now. It's just trying to like capitalize and figure out where.
I read somewhere that you are the best scorer in the history of college.
Yeah.
2,000 points first.
Yep. The leading scorer at the university. Yep.
That's an achievement. First serious achievement in your career?
Yeah, it was definitely a big achievement. The record was actually held by my assistant coach. His name is Anthony Stacy. He had a long career overseas. He played majority in like Spain, like in the ACB. But yeah, he held the record for quite a while, and I broke it my senior year.
In the last game?
No. It was like fourth quarters of the season. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good moment. I didn't really pay too much attention to it at the time. Like, I appreciated it, but I was so focused on trying to get my team to the NCAA tournament, like the biggest stage. And we had like 3 opportunities, and we missed on all of them, unfortunately. But looking back, you know, I definitely realized like the impact it kind of had on the school, and just I didn't really realize how. I didn't really realize how, I guess, well I was scoring the ball back in school. Like, I don't know, it was just, I don't really look at scoring as like something too crazy, because I feel like that's just like what I've always been. Like, when you strip me down to the core part of me as a basketball player, like I know like that's what I am.
Of the season when you're in the States, do you pay a visit to your college sometimes?
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half from Detroit, so the drive is sweet. Like,
Is there still is there any space your name is written on the rankings, on the walls, in the memory tables or something?
Nah, not yet. Hopefully they update it pretty
They
soon.
should.
I'm gonna have to
They
ask
should
them.
do.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my. I still talk to my trainer that was there. We were pretty good friends, so I'm gonna have to tell them they need to get some writing up. I hope they retire the jersey, but we'll see.
Okay. When you sign a deal with us, we asked the coach for the official quote for the statement, for the press release, and he said that the organization ambitions and your goals are meeting in the same, let's say, trajectory of the club has got its own path. You as a player has got your own path, and it's meeting in a good point. Do you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think anytime, as a player, you always kind of want to be in a winning situation, and in fact, that to have an impact on a winning team, I think that means just as much. So, when you kind of align in the two of, obviously we all have our individual goals, but also want to align that with winning and team goals, and then you get a team, organization like here that's, got the expectations of winning, and the ultimate goal is to win a championship. That's you couldn't ask for nothing more.
The fact that we unfortunately got eliminated from the FIBA early.
Yeah.
Also, we lost the semifinals in the cup. It hasn't changed your attitude. Still winning mentality, still winning team. Is the same thinking you're having right now, in comparison with what you had at the beginning of the journey here? Yeah.
Mindset, is always the same. I think. You put a lot of factors in the both situations. I mean, the cup game, we just flat out, we dropped it. What did we lose by 3? I think.
Yeah, something.
Right, and then FIBA game, throughout FIBA we dealt with injuries and players in and out of rotations, and we still gave ourselves a chance to win those games. We had dropped the Spiro game and the Freeburg game, but. We still had a chance to advance. The cup game, obviously, we still had a chance to win. I know that game I missed 2 important free throws, and then Mihal next. So the script could have easily just been a flip. So, putting ourselves in a position to win and then winning obviously is 2 different things. But
okay, true.
That don't affect the mindset. It just kind of know when we go into the depths of the final part of the season, how much attention to detail is need to be paid attention to, especially when the playoffs come around.
Did you live that situation through for a long time? I mean, this missed free throws?
Oh, yeah, for sure. My brother, he'd be on me about free throws all the time. So, and it's so crazy. I think I'm shooting.
Okay, it's part of basketball. It happens.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it happens. And then I remember when I shot them, I thought they were cash, so I was just as shocked. But honestly, I really didn't lose too much sleep over it. I know, I put so much work in, so, like you said, it happens.
Do you agree with the fact that you are one of the brightest surprise in this season when it comes to Polish league?
Yeah, I mean, surprise to everybody else for sure, but I feel like I know what I bring to the table as a player.
Something positive because when you brought it here, everyone was talking about you will be some kind of a 6th man.
Yeah.
But because of the unluck for Luke's and his injuries, you jumped into the starting 5 and you stepped up. Even the coach, he likes to highlight the situation at the press conference, for example, when he said that in case of somebody's absences or somebody's injuries, other players are supposed to step up. And you are the guy who made a big step, I think, through the whole season. Agree?
Yeah. I mean, I think I really try not to focus on too much about role, in a sense, yeah, because you embrace your role and then you bring what you bring to the team. But at the same time, I feel like when I first became a pro, especially straight out of college and playing with other NBA players, I was always saying man, I got just as much game as them, flat out skill and playing, and I still feel like that. But I know there's a way to kind of get to it. So speeding up to now, for example, for this team, I always knew I had the game to play in the Polish league, like skill and all that to shine or whatever. But like you said, when it's time to like kind of step up or do what the team needs you to, you know, you kind of gotta embrace that. And then as that comes, you know, when you do kind of get that opportunity to show like what you truly are as a basketball player, while still kind of embracing the role that the team needs you to be in.
Has it changed through the season your mindset in the when it comes to the detail about being a six-man, and you, because of the fact, the details we were talking for a second ago, you jumped into the starting five.
Yeah. Has
it changed anything in your thinking that, okay, I'm ready to play in the starting five, so maybe I need to do everything that's gonna be, I want to be a starter for the rest of the season. I don't want to give this place away to anybody.
No, it hasn't changed, because I know, like, you know, I know the responsibilities that we have when we on the floor, and I know whether I start or come off the bench, I'm gonna have to have that same impact. So I'm gonna have to guard. I'm gonna have to, you know, be present and be a force on defense, and then I'll have to like make plays and get others involved and make the right play offensively. So I know what I need to do won't change. So ultimately, I know it doesn't matter whether I start or come off the bench.
It doesn't matter who starts, it matters who finishes.
That too.
I think it was in the off-screen session. I mean, this podcast you did with Sebastian. Mm-hmm. You told that you would like to be more vocal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I do remember. I said that because I think the question was if you had to add something or if you wish you were something. Yeah. So I said
it was something like this. Yes.
But I meant like kind of personally, like just a little bit more, I guess, louder. Not necessarily more vocal, but a little bit more louder.
The question is, are you
vocal.
Introvert?
Yeah.
Are you a person being inside in yourself, in your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm definitely an introvert. I think I open up a little more as, you know, people get to know me and stuff like that. So, I mean, I feel like people back at home that really know me probably wouldn't say I'm an introvert. They probably think I'm like crazy or something, but for the most part.
How we can mix these two things, being introvert and playing basketball? Is it a situation that can be problematic sometimes or not?
No, I don't think so. I think there's different ways to do it.
On the floor, you need to be present.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think that's the uniqueness part of the game, that you can mix in different personalities and different, I guess, auras or different energies and see how different players, what they bring to the game in different ways. So, you know, you see some people that are like just crazy energetic and they feed off that, and you see some people that just need to kind of lock in and focus and really key in on what's at hand, and then you see them tap into a zone that's like, okay, we know that they locked in or focused or on a mission. So I think it works in both ways.
Don't you have any situation that you would like to scream loud and shout very loud? Or how it works?
I mean, on the court, we talk so much on defense. I feel like sometimes I can kind of go through lapses. So yeah, I definitely wish I can just kind of key in on screaming and maybe after like N1s and stuff like that, you know. But I think for the most part I talk decently.
The thing which is clearly observable for I think all the fans or the other materials or footages you did, your family, relationships, mm-hmm. people from a family background, it's very important. It is something which builds your story as a basketball player.
Yeah. I mean, they just play such a vital, you know, role in my development. They see me at every stage, elementary, middle school, high school, college, pro. So knowing how important it was for them just to kind of have my back at every way, whether it was like the recruiting process, picking a school, picking a pro team, picking an agent, picking who I train with, you know, they kind of just laid those avenues out for when I needed, you know, that guidance. You know, I don't really think nobody kind of does it alone. And then I seen the examples of people that didn't have like the best support systems and see like where it led them, and how it kind of, I guess, backfolded or triggered or spiraled down the wrong way. So that's when I kind of seen how like important that type of stuff was.
Living here in Poland, being overseas with some kind of let's say limited contact with your family, do you still have time to talk? I mean, this is the question about the support they are showing to. They are still showing to and in your life. Do you have any kind of, I don't know, habits or talks like before the game, after game? Do they analyze your play or something like this?
Not really. Like since I became a pro, they just kind of let me do my thing. Like I communicate with them pretty much every day, but as far as like critiques and analytics and stuff, they give their 2 cents every like once in a while. But it's nothing like they're never like overstepping or overbearing or anything like that. And then coming right out of college, I kind of got a glimpse of what it was going to be like because I left home and I moved to Arizona where my agency was. So I was away from home and I was just like traveling, going to like different like NBA cities for like the workouts and the draft process. So one, being away in college, and then two, like when I went to Arizona, I was completely on my own. Like my agency, I'm there, I'm working out, and then, eat, sleep, workout. So I got a glimpse of like, even if I did go to Europe, what that would be like. And then I'm still talking to them every day. And then that's when I realized, I was like, all right, I don't really have a problem with like being away from home, like too much. Or that's at least when I started to focus, like, yeah, I'll be able to do it.
Life is easier right now. They can talk to you, they can connect with you easily on the internet or something. Also, they can observe you in our social media.
Yeah.
We already know that your mom is following us so hard.
Yeah.
She likes every single tweet and things like this.
Yeah, that sounds like her. She probably my biggest fan, man. And then she just she retired, so she works from home now. So she got her iPad. She be on anything. Any tweet, bad, good, indifferent, she gonna see it for sure.
We can't tweet anything bad about you because she finds out as quickly as possible. It probably gets back to you immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if you did, she definitely gonna know. I don't know if she'll tell me, but she definitely find it. She be finding tweets that's like people that don't even got that many followers that might talk about NFL basketball. She still be finding them. So like I said, she don't got nothing but time right now, so she can just search and scroll all day. That's her skill. She always say that. She told me she was supposed to like go to school to be a detective. She didn't end up being a detective, but I mean, she shows good work for it.
The love of your family is clearly visible. Mm-hmm. You are not talking about this directly, but it's clearly visible. I can feel it. I can hear it. Tell me something about the Detroit, the city you were born and raised, and you spent first serious years in your life. Because right now in Poland, Detroit is maybe somebody told you already that it's a symbol of American collapse, financial collapse, and even there's some kind of expression that the God has forgotten. I'm not asking do you agree, but how would you recollect your childhood and first years there, and about the current situation in Detroit right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like an outside perspective. Like it's always there's been different phases of it, obviously, like to a point that, was true. But, as far as my childhood, my childhood was great. When I think of Detroit, I think of like, blue collar, hardworking people, tough, gritty. And right now, to be honest, like Detroit is kind of somewhat like running the culture as far as back in like America. Like it's one of the, premier cities that's kind of on the revamp. I know they're doing a lot of work. Especially in the downtown part of the city. But, places like where I grew up in the neighborhood, that's kind of where the heart is in the city of Detroit. You run into everyday hardworking people that got that grind mentality, always trying to do better for themselves, for their family. And, that's just kind of city it is, people that's kind of locked in with the interior group that they come up with. And, ultimately everybody's trying to make it.
You can remember the first and last championship that Pistons made 20 years ago, 20 something years
That's
ago.
right. Oh, 03, 04. And they beat.
You remember?
Yeah, they beat Kobe and Shaq and Karl Malone, as you showed me.
we were talking a bit before the interview, but what can you remember from that time? You were around 5?
Yeah. I just remember them having an all around team. You know, Chauncey at the one, Rip, Tayshaun Sheed, Ben Wallace.
2 Wallaces.
That's right.
Ben and I have forgotten the name of the second one. Ben Wallace and
I forget the other one too. But they had guys like Antonio.
Rashad Wallace.
Yeah, Rashid. Yeah,
Rashid.
Sheed Wallace. Yep. And then Antonio McDice, Lindsey Hunter, who I've trained with a few times. So I just remember them having an all around team. I remember the whole city being behind them. We also had the Shock team, WNBA at the time, but the only thing was they weren't in the city at that time. They were in the arena was called the Palace of Auburn Heroes, and it was about 45 minutes out. So the city didn't really feel as like kind of tapped into it as it is now. So now that like Detroit is playing pretty good now, and they about to make the playoffs, and they in the heart of Detroit, so it's definitely like something special going on right now.
In some other footage, the footage you did with Sebastian, you said that the thing you like the most in the States is the people who are from the same country can be totally different from each other.
Yeah.
And the typical question for a foreigner coming, for example, to Poland
Yeah.
for playing basketball is what surprised you the most in Poland or in Polish culture. But this is not the question to you. The question is what surprised you when you met first DJ, Nick, Ryan, Luke. Luke is British, and it was also Iman and the beginning of the season. Ron. I mean, the people from your cultural background, but from every single different edge of the world, of the United States.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say too much surprised me because guys like DJ, Ron, especially E-Man, Ryan. Even Luke. Luke played in college. You come into contact with those type of guys so much, especially when you like on the AAU circuit. So going back to like AAU days, you traveling pretty much to the premier state. So you going to Florida, the Californias, and then you got guys like me, Ryan, and DJ who Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Like that's like the Midwest area. So you know. To me, like I look at those guys, and I'm like, all right, we kind of been through the same stuff. We done seen and met the same people, probably had the same obstacles, played against or with the same people. And then just for another example, you meet a guy like E-Man who was like so highly ranked coming out of high school, and Ron being from Florida, and knowing I got like family and sisters in Florida. So when I come into contact with Ron, like I feel like I'm talking to people that I've met already down in Florida. So those are just like some of the cultural habits that they just bring, and that's just another testament to like how different things are. And then Nick, I had a run-in with Nick when he played at DePaul, and my school in Ohio scrimmaged them twice because DePaul is in Chicago, Illinois. So nothing really surprised me because I had so many run-ins with these guys, and then early on, you meeting so many different people, you kind of start to open up with all right, like this is a big world. So, you know, a lot of people going to be doing things different from what you're accustomed to. So I think I accepted that pretty early on.
What is the factor that combined all of you?
Can you ask that again? I'm sorry.
Because every single guy is from different culture, different background.
Yeah.
But what is the aspect that can be point out that you are similar to each other?
I think basketball does a good job of like kind of bringing that in because you know we all are different in personalities or even game on the court, but the traits of like wanting to win, wanting to be better, want to play at the highest level, those are like the characteristics that are the same, and then that's when you kind of bring it in all together to try to make that goal possible. And then, you know, obviously none of us can do it by ourselves, so that's when we kind of try to come and be the best cohesive unit we can because we know, like, all right, with Nick's skill set, with DJ's, what do you bring to the table? Me, Dean, loot. Like, okay, even the Polish imports, like, okay, we can all like accomplish our goal and also still get to where we want to get to.
Something which is worth mentioning is the goal for the season.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about what is about to happen or what's coming soon? I mean the playoff series, but also our ambitions, our aspirations. How the season ends, everyone knows how we want to end it.
Yeah.
Or it's too early to think about this kind of details. It is the sphere of the dreams right now, not the goals or ambitions.
Yeah, no, I think you be where your feet are. You know, obviously we got 7 games left, so we definitely want to lock in on each opponent and take each week, you know, seriously. But at the same time, you know, I think we all got it in the back of our minds. Like we keep the picture on the fridge of we know what the goal is. So I think that just helps you kind of steer the car a little bit, so you can kind of stay on that path and stay whatever it is, you know, stay hungry, stay focused, ready to play. So I don't really think it's too early because, you know, the realization is of it, you know, you start the preparation now. Like, you don't just wake up. I mean, realistically, we're going to wake up and it's going to be the playoffs, but, you know, it's really a mindset thing. You know, we want to start being in top shape now, playing well now. And then when that time comes, then the more attention to detail part comes, like who we playing, scouting report, the intentionality of what the situation is. So I think just keeping a notice of what the goal is, but at the same time approaching each week, being where your feet are, and taking it serious.
These 2 losses against top teams, I mean, Travel and Wywiad, do they bother you or not?
Well, I mean, all losses bother me, but you know, I think, like I said before, we still had, you know, chances to pull those games out. You know, at this point in the season, like we know what it takes. We know the attention to detail that you need to have, the focus, the physical, the grit that you need to play with. So, and we know, you know, what postseason basketball has come down to. It's going to come down to, like, is it going to be a possessions game? So it bothers me, obviously, because we lost, but, you know, knowing that, like, we always going to kind of be there, put up the effort, put up the energy, and just, you know, see where the ball falls when it comes down to it.
I don't want you to make any promises because you never know anything about sports, about basketball. You never know how the journey ends. But you can, I think you can promise one thing. When the season finishes how everyone wants it to finish, you will be screaming and shouting loud.
Yeah, for sure. I can promise that. We win it, I'll scream for sure.
Okay, that's the promise for today and for the future.
For sure.
Thanks for the time.
Oh no, that was like a deal.
That was the deal?
Yeah,
I was about to finish the interview. So
okay,
two things immediately. Once again.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Dziękujemy bardzo.